Are you a coach who's tired of drowning in complex marketing strategies? Welcome to Simple Client Attraction for Coaches, the bite sized podcast that transforms how women coaches attract their ideal clients without the complicated systems or endless marketing tasks. I'm your host, Sandra Fidelis, and each episode I bring you straight talking conversations with successful coaches and industry experts who share their most effective and simple client attraction strategies. Subscribe now and discover how to fill your practice with dream clients in less time than it takes to enjoy your morning coffee. Jill Giddings has 4 decades of dedicated experience in education in the health and wellness industry, and she brings extensive expertise in specialized programs for aging strong, holistic health and lifestyle, Pilates, and full spectrum wellness. She has a comprehensive approach to health and life balance that encompasses renewed life trajectory guidance, supported by multiple certifications and ongoing education. And today, Jill is going to be talking to us about a topic that I'm very, very interested in, which is how to go from overwhelmed to unstoppable, how successful women can transform their relationship with food and stress. So welcome, Jill.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
This is a topic that I am feeling like there's not enough people talking about out there. And that is what us women entrepreneurs do to ourselves in the ups and downs of running a business. So, can you share a little bit about what you see causes overwhelm in a busy entrepreneur's life?
Yes, I would love to share my perspective on that. So, I know as women in general, and I can speak for myself, the women closest to me, my sisters, my clients, I have found that most people are very eager to take on as much as possible, get as done as much as possible, produce, produce, produce. Some of us are a little bit attached to approval and validation, and we are driven to take on even more. And I've also noticed that those of us that give a lot find people that love to put more on us. So the takers love to put more on the givers. And that whole system seems to perpetuate itself. And the next thing we know, we've kind of forgotten about us because we're so tied into productivity, accomplishment, and getting the next thing done sooner than later as well as we could possibly do it.
Absolutely. And well, I know that for myself and other, colleagues that I've spoken to about this, what happens is that with those ups and downs and with feeling like you are taking care of everybody else, and then also being an entrepreneur and, knowing that there are ebbs and flows as an entrepreneur, what happens is we tend to, I want to call it self-medicate, but maybe grab something that's a little bit sugary when something's happened that makes us feel overwhelmed, or grab a bag of chips, or like there's different ways that we do that. And it could be that it's not even just food, right? There's other ways that we self-soothe. So can you speak to what is going on there when we're like reaching for that thing to give us comfort?
So I like to use the word buffering. I am from a lifetime of not understanding my own buffering. And a lot of it is the conditioning, at least the way I was raised. And I know many people that I know were raised. It's kind of a cultural thing to be validated for either getting good grades when you're a little kid, or getting the job done at home and doing your chores, or finishing the food on your plate, where food is programmed into our mind as a reward, and especially with emphasis on sweets.
Yes.
So when I'm in over my head and I'm exhausted and I'm just producing and getting stuff done, in my mind, on some level, and maybe it's an 8-year-old just saying, I just want something sweet because it's getting really hard. And the hardest part about that is to realize that it's sabotaging the beautiful woman that's doing all this hard work in multiple ways. So part of what I've experienced and what I've learned is the deceptiveness of buffering with food because the cost is so high. Because after that happens habitually for an ongoing amount of time, maybe months, years, maybe a decade, maybe a lifetime, until we stop and realize that we're actually contaminating another part of our lives without realizing it and harming ourselves on some level that we're not, and not meaning to ever,
Yeah.
but really coming out of unconsciousness and realizing the choices and the cost.
Yeah. So when you say like there's that 8-year-old inside of you that wants a little candy or something to be comforted, how do you suggest we deal with that? How do you suggest we what do you suggest we do with her?
So the 8-year-old, the 10-year-old, the 17-year-old, they're all alive and well inside of each one of us beautiful individuals, right? And my experience is that when you plug into how incredibly valuable you are and stay conscious with your amazing value, then strategize. We need to have a strategy. We need to have a tool belt. We need to have alternative behaviors available that will comfort us and soothe us, but not cause our pants to get tight and our clothes size to change. It takes the willingness to be aware because most problematic eating is unconscious in my experience. It's just autopilot. Who cares? I'm just in that space and I just want to check out, give me something pleasurable for my brain so I can just detach from the task at hand that's just knocking me out.
Mhm.
So I really believe strongly in the critical nature of some positive, productive, some kind of strategy, some kind of tool belt that is available for an easy and quick fix. There's even options to eat things that are good for us that can be quite satisfying, that won't take us down that guilt road and chunky feeling road.
Can
And,
you
you
give
know,
us
alternate.
some examples
Oh,
for
sure.
those?
So, I'm a big proponent of, I love, first of all, I love sweets, but I've learned myself that if I have a beautiful nectarine or fresh grapes or watermelon, it's just not anywhere near as damaging and it can be quite satisfying. But I have to, have a chat with myself. And over the years, I have learned so much about foods and brain and how it affects my personality and how it affects your pancreas. And then it leads to hormone imbalance. And that's a whole nother rabbit hole to the point now where I can't really do much of it anymore because I'm too aware of the price. And I
Hmm.
think the awareness, well, I'm sure of it, awareness is the first tool and the first key to managing this and moving down a different path because the unconscious thing and the autopilot thing is very common, very easy, and very sabotaging.
So the first piece is recognizing that you are in this unconscious pattern.
Yeah, and that we just reach for something that feels good at the time. And part of it's our conditioning and part of it's our belief system too. If we're still living in the belief that, not that it's never going to happen, okay? So that's something I need to say. It's never going to not happen. It's going to happen once in a while. And in the times that it does happen, I think it's really important to give ourselves permission to enjoy it and be conscious, like I'm going to eat these little pieces of English toffee and I'm going to enjoy them. And it's a brief encounter and I'm going to get right back on track. But overall, being aware of it and not eating more things ongoing, because I don't know about a lot of other people, but I do know for myself and multiple women and clients I've spoken to in my life, usually the guilt and the shame around indulging in something super carby and sugary leads to something else a little more sugary and carby, and because I feel bad that I did it and I've got a lot of guilt around it. So if I can set that aside and allow myself time throughout my week, wherever, maybe on the weekend, to have something special and enjoy it without all that drama, without all the guilt and the head trip. And even if I slip because I'm not totally on track all the time and triggerless, if I get triggered, even if I slip, the ticket is always forgiving yourself and getting back on track.
I
That
love
way,
that.
there's not that rabbit hole of going down and, having more of the same. And then, it gets worse from there.
The slippery slope, the spiral.
Yes,
Yeah. So you talk
totally.
about being unstoppable in business and in life. So what are some of the ways that you teach women to reorganize and to strategize, to being unstoppable, even though we have all this stuff on us and, entrepreneurship brings even more on top of that.
So once again, it's a sitting down with yourself and making a decision that's something you really want. And when you really want something bad, you get it in your nervous system. Like close your eyes and see yourself because your brain doesn't know what to do with negatives. Your brain does not know what to do with negatives. So if you keep saying, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm not that, and I'm not this, it's like, okay, let's just keep doing the same thing. It doesn't change. But if you can sit tight, close your eyes, and see yourself just crushing it and being unstoppable, and you want that and you see it, then when these moments come up, we can go right to that movie. That is the movie I want. That is the trip I'm going on. That is the goal I want to change. She's who I want to become. And when she's who I want to become becomes so real and electric in our mind and in our body, that whole thought process will dominate and renew the path. It's when we stay in the old patterns, the old belief systems, and the old fears that we repeat them because it's the software. The software always wins. Software always wins. And if we don't change it up here, chances are pretty darn slim that we won't change it anywhere else.
The behavior. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we always end every episode with a little nugget. So if you were to share a nugget that you want us to take away from all of this, what would that be?
I would want to say to you, dear woman, whoever you are and whoever's listening, you are amazing. You are beautiful. There is only one you, and you deserve to be healthy, vibrant, focused, and successful. And we all struggle with those internal beliefs. And if we have them, where did they come from? Let's knock them out of the park and stick with the ones that are going to get us where we want to go. But it's the truth. You are very valuable and you are very precious. And there's only one you. So let's go for it.
Beautiful. Can you share with everyone where they can get hold of you, learn more about you? And I know that you have a complimentary clarity call to share with everyone. Where can they go to get that?
Yeah. Well,
To
for
share.
now, you can access me through the link. And I also I'm in the process of becoming more available online. But right now, the Paper Bell link is the ticket. And I'm happy to connect with people, do a consultation complimentary, and get to know you and see what's on your mind and what you might want to do for transition in your life. And I will also give you more personal information about how to contact me and go forward from that link. So we can start with that, if that works.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jill. I love
Thank you,
this.
Sandra. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Simple Client Attraction for Coaches. Want to launch your own interview style podcast? Grab the free Launch an Interview Style Podcast Guide at sandrafidelis.com/podcast guide, or point your camera at the QR code on the video to download. I hope today's bite-sized strategies have given you practical ideas you can implement right away in your coaching business. If you'd like to watch the video of our interview, then head on over to simpleclientattractionforcoaches.com. Did you find value in today's episode? If so, please share it with other coaches in your network who could benefit from these straightforward bite-sized strategies. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us. Until next time, remember, client attraction doesn't have to be complicated. Small, consistent actions can lead to remarkable results. I'll see you on our next episode with more simple strategies to help your coaching business thrive.